myself was enough. I'd smile all the time. Beyond the best of me, there's more than meets the eye.
All right, hello everyone. It's been a little while since I've done a phantom work video. We're going to call this one Phantom Mirror, Your Pathway Home. So what do I mean by that? So I'm sitting here, I'm talking to the screen. There's nobody here, there's just me, even though, hundreds or thousands could be listening to this over the next few days. And I'm wondering about how I get home, how I get out of a certain challenge, how I move from a bad situation in the way that I'm defining a bad situation. Could be a health situation, could be a living situation, could be a monetary situation, could be siblings, children, friends, family, parents, what have you. So you're looking at your life and you want it to be better, you want to be free. I don't think I've come across anybody, if you ask them if they want to be free, hasn't said they want to be free. The difference being your definition of freedom may be different than my definition of freedom, may be different than someone else's definition of freedom. But what I'm really getting at here is the ultimate definition of freedom as your guts, as your heart, as your soul, as the child inside wants to be free. I've been spending a lot of time over the last week or so in between these videos studying myself, going back to my childhood, understanding my experiences one at a time, like literally separating them all as much as I can and seeing the good ones, the bad ones, the hard ones, especially the hard ones, the ones most of us hide from ourselves, the ones most of us use to lie to ourselves. And I'm not saying, as anyone is telling you you're lying to yourself, but this is an exploration of where you're seeing where you've been lying to yourself, where you've been dishonest. Maybe something you say has been good, hasn't been good. Maybe something you've decided or judged as bad hasn't been bad. Perhaps something's, just literally been forgotten in the mists of time. So many things have come back to me over the last week or two that I've forgotten I even had the experience of, and they've all informed me, right? Whether they've been good, whether they've been bad, whether they've been powerful, whether they've been sad, doesn't matter. They've all been my experiences. So what I mean by the phantom mirrors I'm looking here is what is haunting you in your life when you look in the mirror and you see your own life. So by that mirror, I mean a mirror of your experiences. I mean a mirror of your life. I mean an honest reflection of everything you've done or have not done or have chosen, have let go fallow, have experienced, some things maybe you've stayed with too long, relationships, jobs, dietary habits, and the like. Maybe some things you let go too soon. Your desire to be a gardener, your desire to travel more, your desire to live in a different area, those sorts of things. And these are just the surface areas of what's gone on. The deeper you go and the more you understand yourself, the more you can access your own powers and energy and imagination. This is what I'm going to say is the key to your pathway home phantom mirror, the ascension of where you need to go for what you need to do by imagining it. I would say in our life, from what I've seen, if you can imagine it, you make it real. Perhaps that's why when you're small, when you're a little person, boy, girl, whatever, you have your imagination hijacked. That's my experience. Your parents say, no, you can't imagine that. This is what life's about. Or you go to school and they say, well, you have to imagine these 12 jobs. Or if you're living in this part of the world, this is what you imagine. If you're living in that part of the world, that is what you imagine. If you want to be happy, you have to imagine having lots of money. If you want to be happy, you have to imagine having 6 children. It really is up to you to understand what happened as you were growing up, as you were little, as you were living your life. And perhaps you had a certain kind of imagination, as most children do, imagination of playing, an imagination of adventure, an imagination of reaching for more, an imagination of explorations. I'm going to say going into the unknown for yourself, because when you're little, you want to explore the unknown, right? You want to go into the next field, you want to travel, you want to go into the next town, you want to go out with your parents. I used to anyways, go for long drives in the country or go for journeys into another country when we used to drive, whether it was through Canada where I'm from or into the United States, which I went to a lot. And it was fun to see new things. It was fun to have adventures. You were always considering the new was going to be exciting. The new was going to be something worth capturing as an experience. The new was going to be something worth going towards and having more of. And for a lot of us, as we get older, for whatever reason, we're taught to fear the new. We're taught to hold on to what we have because if you let go, something bad is coming. If you let go of a job, you won't have, money. If you let go of a relationship, you'll be alone. If you let go of your children, they won't love you. Okay. If you let go of your spouse, you'll be forever unloved and sitting on a couch and growing old and silly and stupid or fat or whatever. On the other hand, if you sit and you imagine the best of things to come, that if you let go, more will come, right? If you let go of your children, they'll love you more because you're helping them be free. If you let go of a bad job, you'll find something worth doing in your life. If you let go of a bad relationship, you'll find a better relationship. If you let go of a certain location, geographical, you'll find somewhere better to live. If you let go of a home because the mortgage is strangling you, you'll find maybe you like wandering, maybe you like tenting, maybe something smaller on a beach is better than a huge house in the middle of a city. Really, that's up to you to figure out where it is you would like to go. And again, this is a very beginner's level of your stairway home, your phantom mirror, your pathway towards a better life for yourself as you would like to see a better life for yourself. Phantom is something that haunts you. That's why this is called phantom work. So something that niggles you and follows you along like a chain on your ankle, no matter where you go. As an example, if you never succeed at being a musician and you wanted to be a musician, that could haunt you forever. Every time you hear music, you can be sad, or you can do the opposite and become a groupie and chase musicians and put all of your energy towards someone else that's doing it without ever realizing it. Perhaps you're following someone along simply because you've never done it yourself. And it doesn't mean you're going to be a great musician. And even if you're a very good musician, and I've come across literally hundreds of them that were good enough to be making millions of dollars, but haven't, they've just been super good musicians. But that doesn't matter for me because I enjoy the music and that's enough. You listen to a 5-minute song, you listen to a 3-minute song, you sing your own song. I do that a lot when no one's listening. When I walk down the street, I have my own funny way of being, my own funny way of singing a song. And for me, that helps my energy at the moment grow. A lot of people have suggested, well, maybe you should write music. Maybe you should do this professionally. I used to know a lady many, many years ago who was an amazing singer, like one of the best I've ever come across. People would say to her, you should make a living out of it. You should record. You should go into the opera. You should go into rock and roll. She had a very versatile voice. And she didn't want to do any of those things. She just liked singing. Right? For her, singing on the beach was enough. For her, singing with her friends was enough, and it made her happy. And she was haunted for a long time by people, especially, her parents or close friends that would niggle her doubts, let's say, by insisting that she had to exchange this wonderful, beautiful spirit gift for money. And I would say this is where the blocks come for a lot of us in our life. So since this is phantom mirror, your ascension to happiness, you can look at whatever's been haunting you and make a new choice. Right? If people have said you should turn your music into money and that's been bothering you, maybe you agreed with them when you were 8, but your guts didn't want to do it. So, you were battling yourself throughout your life. You could sit back and realize you were right. You didn't really want to turn that skill into money. You just wanted to enjoy it. Or if your parents said, let's say you had to become a doctor or a lawyer, or in my case, someone in the financial world that just makes money and you'll be happy. And that's something you've battled for 10, 20, 30 years because you agreed with them. And then, so let's say you went into that job and now you're stuck. If you look at how you're haunted by the fact that maybe when you were 8, you didn't want to go into the business world, right? Maybe you wanted to be an artist. Maybe you wanted to be a gardener. Maybe you wanted to be a farmer. Maybe you just wanted to paint or play with flowers or dance or sing. Up to you to look at the phantoms in your mirror and see honestly what's haunting you. And it comes to a very important point in this: honesty, self-honesty, trusting yourself. That's the biggest challenge most of us seem to have in this life because we come to an answer, but we don't trust it. I want to leave this relationship. I don't want to do this job. Or you trust that it's true, but you don't trust yourself that you'll be able to face the challenges that will rise from leaving one situation and going to another. Maybe you have to become a better swimmer, a better climber, a better walker. As an example, and it's a silly one, but one that's close to my heart. Even from yesterday, I went for a short walk. My muscles were aching. I have a new pair of shoes. Maybe I've used new muscles. My head is telling me you can't walk. You should go home and rest. You have, back pain, your calves are cramping a little bit. But I ignored that and went walking anyways. 4 hours later, my body feels good. I feel like I can walk all day. My muscles have warmed up. So what does this small example mean? I think it means you hit a block and your head tells you something. You can't, you shouldn't, you mustn't, you won't be able to. Fill in your own reasons. But if you go through that block and you see what your body is telling you see what the world is telling you go beyond the words, you go beyond the thoughts. So I'm going to say this is called phantom mirror, your ascension, because you get to look at the thoughts that are blocking you from moving forward. And that's really all they are. You'll come to something and your heart or your guts or your feeling will say, I want to stop this or I want to start this. And then the thoughts start roiling, the phantoms start boiling, the ideas, the naysayers, the phantoms could come in a familiar face. Like, let's say I'm going to stop this job and do that. And then your friend says, you can't do that. You won't be able to pay for your sports car. You can't do that. You're too old. You can't do that. You're too fat. You're too skinny. You're too tall. You're too young. You're too old. Or it's just you telling yourself that, right? Or you read about somebody telling you can or can't do these things. And that's where the challenges come. But that's what I mean by the phantom mirror. So you see the mirror in front of your face that says you can't, go the other way. Follow yourself, follow your heart, follow your guts, follow your intuition. What have you got to lose? Death is coming for us all. Eventually you won't be here. I won't be here. If you live to be 140, you'll be gone one day. If you believe in life on the other side, that's fine. If you believe you go back into nothing, that's fine. If you believe you go to heaven, that's fine. If you believe you go to hell, that doesn't really change what's going on while you're here, right? You have a certain amount of time. I do as Lorenzo, you do as whoever you happen to be. What are you going to do at that time? And you sit back at the end of your days and you look back and you're forced to look over your life. And my strong feeling is we all, in one way or all the ways, are guided towards understanding ourselves completely at the end of our days. Would you rather be happy? Would you rather be sad? Would you rather be fulfilled? Would you rather be angry or mad? If you've done something horrible, and I've done hundreds of horrible things to myself and other people throughout my life, some unconscious, some on purpose, some because I didn't care, some because I was only selfish, whatever. And for a long time, I was denying these pearls of wisdom, these hard experiences to come back. Like, I chose those experiences. I chose this friend. I chose this relationship. I chose this job. Me. I chose them all. And then I chose to act in ways, let's say, that were unloving or unkind or unconscious or all of the above. So by denying that experience, I've lost out on a bit of my life. I've buried something that will haunt me. But by digging up that grave, looking in the face, go, oh my goodness, I treated this person really poorly. I was not so loving here. I could have been more helpful there. And taking it into my guts, taking it in as an experience, I've grown from it. It's not so bad. You feel good. You don't feel bad. I mean, you feel bad that you did it maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe last week. Sure. If you have a conscience, you will feel bad about doing bad things or unloving things. But look, I'm smiling now because you pick up the experience. So the next time you're sitting in something similar, you won't do that again. You won't be unconscious. You'll become conscious. What does that mean? Well, I've heard we use 8%, 10% of our brain. We see 1% of light. So imagine what's missing. A lot of the people that are watching, my Phantom Work series, they've seen a lot of the ancient history chats I've done. They've seen a lot of the haunted mystery chats I've done. They've seen a lot of, getting out of the cave chats I've done, being free chats, those sorts of things, other side chats, mind monsters, etc. And look at the unknown. Look at what's possible. As a human being, I think even as we've truncated our imagination in this life, most of us can agree that we allowed something to grow fallow, something to get lost, or we just simply didn't claim what we wanted when we were little children, little people, of what we wanted to do with our life. No one was 6 or 7 and said, I want to grow up and be an accountant. Probably not. No one was 6 or 7 and said, I wanted to grow up and work in an office. Right? I wanted to be a sales lady or a salesman, or I wanted to flip burgers or whatever. Maybe you wanted to create. You wanted to create food. I wanted to create art. I wanted to enjoy being alive. I wanted to walk with nature. Why can't you make that into your life? There are people that give guided tours. There are people that grow. There are people that grow flowers. There are people that grow food, right? There are people that make wonderful creations. There are bakers, people that enjoy that, as an example. There are people that find their ways into making a better life by telling themselves they can. And is it easy? No. I think that's the trick. The harder it is, there was an old quote, if it's not hard, it's not worth doing. So if you want to go somewhere new, if you want to make something new, if you want to, create and bring something new into this reality, of course there's going to be a challenge. There's nobody giving you the rules. There's nobody saying do one, two, and three, and four is going to be for sure. But isn't that the beauty of being alive? To make your stamp, to leave something new, to plant a seed that no one else has done before, to come up with a new recipe, to come up with a new song, to come up with a new dance, to come up with a new art form, to come up with a new you, the new now, to make your now new in the ways that you decide you need to do for yourself. Really, that's it. If you decide that you need to face yourself and you're not sure where to go, like let's say I'm going to take this chat full circle because it is called Phantom Mirror, your ascension out of here, or your growth out of here, your doorway out of here. Perhaps you already have all the tools you need because a lot of people say, okay, I want to change, but I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to be. Grab a mirror, write down your challenges, see what you've done and what you haven't done in ways that you feel have not been done or undone in the best of all ways. In other words, if you want to do something, do it more. If you've wanted to stop something and you have it, do it less. If you've only done each of those 30% you've tried, or 30% you've tried doing, 30% you've tried stopping, therein lies your phantom, right there. Make it to 100, whatever it is. Try drawing 100%. Doesn't matter. Don't try and turn them into money, I would say. It's the same thing as waiting for someone to say it's okay. You get honors, as I've heard recently, meaning they honor you for your drawing, they honor you for your dancing, they honor you for your food. And by honors in this society, a lot of it is turned into money, monetary considerations. Now, I hear lots of you talking. Of course, as we live in this world, we do have to exchange at times, money, digital, physical, gold, whatever, for certain services or ways or food or what have you, travels. But that's not the point in this. The point is, if there's something missing in your life, if there's something haunting you, you have some sort of phantom that's dragging behind you saying you should do this, you shouldn't do that, you can do this, you can't do that, and you're not doing it, that's solely your responsibility, solely the responsibility of your soul to change that. Not to wait for someone to say you can, not to wait for someone to give you $5 so it's okay, not to wait for someone to say they'll pay you to do it, or you'll get a job doing it. So that's fine. If you have to do it for 5 minutes a day, if you have to do it for an hour in the morning, if you have to get up an hour early, you have to stay up an hour later, depending whether you're a morning person or a late person. I get up many hours before everyone else and always have in my life. So I can spend those first few hours lacking a bit of sleep so that I can do my poetry, I can do my meditations, I can write my songs, I can take a walk and listen to the birds. I take a nap later in the day. That's how I deal with what I need to do in my quiet time in the morning so I can dream, so I can write. I'm going to start a Substack. I'm going to share poetry out. Send me your email if you're interested in being a part of it. Leave the links below, share some suggestions, share some questions, get this out there. We have 9 hidden secrets of your freedom. I'll leave the link below. That's a wonderful series I did with Campbell from Autodidactic. It'll ask you to ask better questions of yourself, and it can take you through this process. I have in Love Unlimited. If anybody wants to work with me personally, I'm going to share through some poetry, some writing, some other people's ideas, perhaps, maybe on a daily basis, at least many times a week, all related to the kind of chat I've done today. How to look in a mirror, how to see who you are, how to move from there. I do it through poetry. I've done it through some music. There's a new song. I'll leave a link below, Strange Taxi. I did with a lovely friend of mine, Felice, in Australia. Just put it up yesterday. It's on the channel. Check it out. It's all about a poem I wrote while walking in the middle of my night here when I'm wandering the streets late at night, wondering what's going on, wondering what to do next, wondering how I'm feeling. And it pretty much describes everything I've chatted about now. Face who you are, decide where you're going to go. Don't worry about the monetary things. When I walk in the middle of my mornings, I'm not out shopping. I'm not out buying anything. I'm not going out there to pick up some food or to buy whatever or to pay a bill. I'm just walking in the morning, which is probably why I have my best creative time. Just walking. I'm listening to what's going on in the world. I'm watching people. Today I saw a half moon cut down the middle. Very strange. I don't think I've seen it with a straight line before. Maybe I haven't. I'm forgetting right now. And so that made me wonder, what's this world about? I don't have the answers, but I'm looking up. I'm going, a half moon, quite literally, cut in half. Isn't that interesting? A wonderful time to share this with you. All right, so face your phantoms. See what's bothering you. Be honest. Be brave. Trust yourself. Be powerful. That will be your stairway out of here. You don't know where to go. Walk away from what you don't want to experience in your life. If you don't want to experience less of something, walk towards the more. It's the negative of the positive. If you don't want to be somewhere, walk away from a job, walk away from a situation, walk away from a health challenge. Take the chance to trust yourself. Make an opportunity by walking away from what you don't want. And I can pretty much guarantee that the more you do what you don't want, the more you let go of what is bothering you, the more you grab more onto your dreams, the more you look at those phantoms. Oh my goodness, I'm not doing my music enough, so I should do it. The more you see your hauntings and walk away from them, the more you're going to get clearer in your desires, the more your dreams will become real, the more you're going to go higher. You'll be happy. We all know we have more energy when we're happy, when we're sad. You want to look at life as a vibration. I'll take it there a little bit. So the more you vibrate, the higher you go. I've heard water is just light condensed. We're made of 80, 90% water, depending on who you talk to. So think about it that way. So if you're light condensed and light is getting lighter and going higher, so the more you vibrate, the higher you go. I would say the happier you are, the more you laugh, the more you're doing what you like, the more joyful you are, the more you're full of joy, the more you're full of wonderful. The lighter you're going to be, the higher you're going to go. You're going to get a better vision. Look at it like climbing up a mountain. And then the higher you go, the more you'll see, the more you see, the more you'll find opportunities for yourself. No one needs to tell you what to do or what not to do, but you really, in my humble opinion, need to tell yourself with great, painful, distressing honesty some days what it is you've done that's been good for your heart, what it is you've done that's been bad for your heart, what it is that you've followed through with your imagination and your soul, what it is and where you want to grow, and where you haven't, how you've left fallow, how you've been fantastic, how you've been horrible. Put it together. Go away towards the more, let's say, move away from the less towards the more. That's what I mean by the phantom mirror. Look at yourself, look at what hasn't worked, look at what has worked. Make sure you understand completely what's in front of your face so that you can replace all of the things that have not worked with things that may work according to you. Go a little higher. You'll see more. If you don't have all the answers, maybe you only know what you need to move away from today. Move away from one thing, move away from three things. Pretty much guaranteed the next answer will come in the next moment after you've solved this one problem. As you see it as a problem, move towards something better. All right. I'm Lorenzo. This has been fantastic. Thanks for joining me here today. Phantom Work, Phantom Play 12, Phantom Mirror, your pathway out of here. I'll get it up soon. Questions and suggestions below. Take our course. It's very good price until April 1st. It can help you out. I'm open for a 15-minute free consultation. I don't even like to use the word free, but I'm happy to talk to you. New now at newagora.ca. Hit me up. I'll have a chat with you. We'll have some more free events coming up. We'll have some more paid events coming up. And we would love to have you participate because the more you follow your heart, the better you become, the better I become, the more that our community grows and the more we can love each other. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe and share it around. I'm Lorenzo. Bye for now.
Self was enough. I'd smile all the time. Beyond the best of me, there's more than meets the eye.